For Coach White over at Southwest Guilford, getting set for the big season, big week this week. This is game week. Got the big game. I think it's Oak Grove coming up on Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Playing the Grizzlies. And how have your guys looked so far, Coach, in preparation for that first official game?
I've been impressed so far. We had a really good offseason. We hit the weight room really hard from January. Got a lot of our installs done in our offseason, and they're progressing very well right now.
How much better is it to have been here for a full year as opposed to coming in last year a little later and get things going on? This is your system now. You've been able to work with it for a full season under your belt and work these kids all the way from end of last season now to the new season. How's that work for you?
It's been great. They get to understand how I want things and how things should look. We had a chance to actually incorporate a full off-season workouts with our strength and conditioning program, which helped out a whole lot. Our kids' bodies have changed tremendously. We want to get bigger, stronger, faster in our off-season. I think we did a great job of that. And then just developing the second year in our system, learning the terminology and understanding how those things work and what I expect has been great so far.
What are your expectations for this upcoming season? What do you plan to see this team do this year? What do you want to see this team do this year?
Be ball controlled, score in bunches, but understand what we need to do to close games out. We didn't do a good job of closing games out last year. I think we got to do a better job of that this year. And then at the same time, play fast on defense, be aggressive, force more turnovers, and put ourselves in a better position offensively.
You've had some good athletes on this team over the past year. Who are some of those athletes that are back this year you expect to be leaders for you this year? Some guys have some experience now and played hard last year. This year they got to step up, play hard again, but be strong leaders for the Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Corbin Wilson, the North Carolina A&T commit, is coming back this year. Has done a great job. He's a phenomenal athlete. Jalen Carl, 3-star defensive end, is going to be playing lights out over the next couple of weeks. Can't wait to see him back on the field. He did a great job Friday night, and that was just a preview of what's going to be done over the year. Kel Lloyd at quarterback has been doing an excellent job. Sophomore quarterback last year, junior this year, has really progressed in the system and is getting better each day. Cam McCain and Darius Harrison. Cam McCain is our starting running back, and Darius Harrison is our starting free safety. And these kids are dynamic when it comes to getting at the ball and being in the right place at the right time.
You mentioned Jalen Carl, like you say, big lineman, I think there, and then you got. Also, you got Corbin Wilson back. I mean, he could be a wide receiver. He could even be a quarterback sometimes,
yes,
defensive back, do all those things. And it's just good to have that kind of depth now. These guys can do different things for you.
Correct. And they've been doing great. And then we got some complimentary guys that came in this year. Willie Hatfield is a guy that came in 6'5", 255, who's playing defensive end for us. Demarion McBee came in, another 6'3", 360-pound kid that's on our defensive front. So we want to solidify that front, and they've done a great job of getting clean. Our linebackers stay a lot cleaner this year, and it's been great so far. And all of our offensive line returned from last season, so it's been great having that unit together in that continuity.
If you got that guy 6'5", 255, he's got any feet at all, can move those feet with some speed, regularity. I mean, you can actually coach that guy. If that guy can become a big standard for us, so it's like having like a Willie Lanier over there.
It is, and he does great. He's playing our 3 technique right now, and he does a great job. Just like long, very strong, athletic, and he's getting off the ball better each week.
We were talking before we began to record today about Evan Johnson being back as a senior this year. Going to play some linebacker for you, wearing that number 52 now. I've seen him grow up as a Cowboy and around this community for years. How's he coming along for you? How's he advancing and developing and progressing?
So Evan was coming off an ACL tear last year, so he actually broke it. His mark was hitting at 8 months. He did it. He got clear last Friday, and now we're going to work him back in slowly. But he's been our whole offseason program. He's been doing weights. He started running about a month ago, so his conditioning is not quite there yet, but it will be. But he's going to play some linebacker and some tackle for us this year. But he's going to be a great addition. Can't wait to have him back. Great kid all around.
Talk about the scrimmage. You had scrimmages last week because you were at the Mickey Truck Buddies, I think, over at High Point at Simeon Stadium. How'd those scrimmages go? What's some things you saw in the scrimmages that you can build upon?
Some things we could build upon. We did great in our running game. We wanted to make sure we had a progression of timing down for what we do offensively, and we did a really good job of that in both scrimmages. We want to see our defense fly around a little bit, and they got after it. I think in a full game of football, on Friday we forced 4 turnovers, and on Wednesday we forced 4. So we had 8 turnovers in a matter of, if you count them as 2 quarters each. So it was a great day to see them getting at the ball and doing some raking. But what we want to progress on is getting better in our passing game, just getting more definitive, getting timing down, and then our secondary understanding what we want from a coverage standpoint. They've done better, but I think that we have a little ways to go, and we can be really good in our back end. What
are some things out of Kel Lloyd you're seeing better this year than you saw last year?
His timing, his footwork has gotten a lot better. His progression reads have gotten better. He understands the offense because he's had a full year now. He understands the terminology and what we're looking for. So he's been a good asset to build upon this whole offseason.
And you're charting those numbers on Hairston at running back, I guess. Last week, how did his running game show up last week for you, and is it where it needs to be right now?
Okay, so Hairston, I think he had 4 carries for 66 yards on Friday, and Cam McCain had 4 carries for 72 yards on last Wednesday. So complimentary to each other, like I said, they're our thunder and lightning. So they're doing really good in the backfield for us.
So yards per carry off those results there are pretty good so far, I would say.
Yes, sir. And it's a compliment to our running game and our offensive line. They understand the system that they're creating big gaps up front, the holes they can run through, and with them understanding what their look should look like, it helps the backs hit those holes a little bit faster.
How good a job is the offensive line doing at getting off the ball right now?
Oh, they're firing off. Like I said, our offensive line is one of our top units on our team. We lean on those guys. And between our offensive line and defensive line, those are our trenches. We want to make sure we're strong up there. And right now, those have been our best productive units thus far.
Just following you the past couple of years, Vanya, last year, one of the names that stands up in my mind is probably gone, graduated now. But boy, when I think about line and I think about a prototype, if I could build from this guy, I could just put this guy in a box and rip the box over. Here he is. Let's put this guy to him. Good work would be Puckett.
Yes.
Mr. Kyler Puckett, or Kyle Puckett.
Kyler Puckett. Yes, sir.
Heck of a big, strong kid, and had the look you're looking for in a lineman.
He was a freakish athlete, and he's now at ECU now. Hopefully he can make that roster and be great down there as well as he was for us.
What about going against Oak Grove this Friday? What do you see down the Grizzlies? I know they're going to be good. They've always been good since that program began. How tough will they be, and how tough is it going to be in that game Friday? How are you going to beat them Friday night?
They're going to be well coached. They're going to be disciplined across the board. You can't make any mistakes against them. And our goal on our plan to beat them is control the clock, put points up, and if we got to get in the track meet, I think our defense is pretty good at stopping teams. So we want to make sure we just score more points than they do on Friday night.
Have they got the same coaching, head coaching staff they've had before? Did they change it, Coach? I thought they may change their coach. Maybe went to Bishop McGinnis. Kind of a flip there.
Correct. Coach Holcomb went to Bishop McGinnis, and the defensive coordinator is now the new head coach at Oak Grove.
And still got Coach Rolfus. He's still there too, I would think.
He's still the offensive coordinator, yes, sir.
Someday I think we'll see his son up there, maybe as their quarterback, maybe in the future. Rolfus' kid, maybe down the road.
Right.
Yeah, because that little kid's coming along. I've been watching him some on maybe Facebook's where they see the kid occasionally. Coach Rolfus is working with his son in those recreation games.
He got his dad genes in him.
Yeah, he does. Got that athleticism.
Yes, sir.
Well, talk about being the head coach of Southwest right now, leading this team. What do you like about being involved in this program right now? How do you see this program moving ahead in the future?
I think we're in a great place. Our JV team last year was full of freshmen. We had 35 freshmen last year. They took the lumps. They went 2-8 last year. And this year, all of those freshmen are now sophomores. They've had another unit system, and now we're sophomore heavy on our JV team is where you want to be. And that's how programs are built through our JV units. We got a great addition coming over from the middle school, and Pharrell Price is starting quarterback on our JV program. He's going to be the future of our Southwest program, and he's an excellent guy to build around. But we have guys like C.J. Blevins and Xavier Smith on our JV squad that have been doing excellent jobs of creating continuity in our program. Up front, Monte Peters, Cole Campbell, and we got a new kid, a basketball kid that played for us, Graylon Roberson, who's come in at right tackle and done an excellent job so far.
So you mentioned 35 players in the freshman class. Some teams are glad just to have 35 players on the squad. That's good for one class. Have that many have those kind of numbers.
Yes, sir. And the thing is that we had everybody stick together. We didn't have anybody leave, so all of those guys came back this year, and they really bought into what we're doing here. And as for what I like, the Southwest community is great. We have a great AD in Brenda Christman. We have a great community and families that support our program, what I'm doing here. So I couldn't ask for much more than that.
And when you see those kids walking around school together as a unit and doing things together as a team, and those kids hang out together, those are good things too, because usually kids that kind of hang together usually stick together.
Correct, and they do that all summer long, and I just want to get them away from me for a little while, but as long as they're hanging together, understand what we're doing, they're doing great so far.
But you say the summer workout programs, the all-season workout programs went well for you?
It did. We wanted to increase strength and speed. We noticed last year that our conditioning wasn't where we wanted to be, but over this off-season, we wanted to get bigger from January to March, and then March increase our conditioning. And we had our track coach, Coach Wright. She came in and did a lot of work with our speed and agility this off-season. It's paid great dividends so far.
Might have been reading my mind. I was going to ask you about how many of these guys were involved in the track program, because you get some sprinters and some weight men and the weight events in track over your football program. Those are the kind of guys you want, because they've already got some of those training techniques down and what they're doing with it.
Correct. And Darius Harrison was one of those guys who went down and ran track this year. He did an excellent job. He got faster. He was fast last year, but he's scary fast this year. So can't wait to see him on the field Friday night.
What do you look forward to most about that first opening kickoff? Whether you're going to be receiving the ball or kicking the ball, what do you look forward to most about that first kickoff this coming Friday night on August 18th, when the lights are on, the team's ready, and all systems are go?
Starting fast. We want to get down there and we want to make an impact from the first kickoff. Like I said, we want to be felt, either whether it's returning or whether we're kicking off, to make sure we get down there and make something happen early, get excitement for the team, and then just play off that level of intensity the rest of the game.
Yeah, if I'm out there Friday night, if I'm on the kickoff team, I want to be receiving the ball. Otherwise, I don't want to even be out there. But
Right.
if I'm on the kick coverage team, that's the team you want to be on. If you're on that kick coverage team, because one thing you want to do is, if you can, have enough discipline to stay down your lanes and don't be fooled, as they say, but go get that ball and find that ball and try to make that first opening tackle of the season. That would be some fun and some good memories right there.
Yes, sir. And we harp very much on our special team. We do special teams every single day because that's a big part of what we're doing. And our kids know the importance that you can win or lose a game on special teams, and we want to make sure that we have that corralled. And our kids are bought in. They understand that kickoff that kickoff turn to start the game is very important.
And that punt is so important, too, because
Yes.
that punt, if anybody gets through that line on that punt and blocks that punter, comes close to that punter and shakes him up, you've got all kinds of trouble. And coaches, don't forget those things, and the players are going to hear about it come Monday.
Correct.
Probably hear about it probably sometime late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And we were blessed to say that we had one muff punt last year and didn't get any blocks last year. So the work we did last year, our special teams paid off.
People don't realize that snapper is so important, especially the way the offense is run these days with the
Yes.
quarterbacks not being under center. Those little short direct snaps are very important, and those punt snaps are also so key and so crucial for you.
Yes, sir, they are. And if they're not there on time, it can cause a lot of problems. Like that could turn a game, change the field, change the complexion, change the momentum. So we want to make sure we stay on top of those things.
Kind of related some ways between the pitcher and catcher in baseball, between the snapper and quarterback or the punter in football, because they have to be on in that same thought pattern, that same page all the time, receiving and delivering has got to be near perfect.
Yes, sir, it has to be. And we want our execution to be as close to perfect as possible every time.
And that kicker better make good contact with that football too.
Well, we got a scary dude back there. We got Corbin Wilson. So if it's not a perfect snap, he'll make something happen.
he can create, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Coach, good luck to you this season. Friday night against Oak Grove, and that game is going to be
at Oak Grove.
At Oak Grove Friday night, and you'll be opening up here at home the following week.
Yes, sir. Against Reynolds.
Yes, what's the
That'll be our blackout game. Yes, sir. Can't wait to have it.
Yeah, looking forward to the Cowboys season. If you get the same kind of support, I'm sure you do for football that they do for basketball. The ranch can always be explosive. People who've been there have seen it happen. If they've ever been around the ranch, they know what's going on because they know what's happening when they come over here, come down here, come to here, because the ranch can be a big part of what these kids are doing. Come Friday night, that support group, the Cowboy support group, is very big. When they're on and things are on, they're really coming at it hard.
Right. And we've been getting great support so far, and I think people are excited about our season for what they've seen these past scrimmages. We've had big crowds at our scrimmages, which hadn't been seen before in a while, so we're glad to see these things going the right way.
Because I've actually experienced before. I was on the basketball court one time at a basketball game at Northwest Guilford, and Southwest came in and upset Northwest, and they rushed the floor after the game. I was actually out there and nearly got stampeded and trampled by the group coming on the floor. They hit it so hard. I was actually doing some good. Football is a good training sport. I was actually throw a couple forearms, a couple hits, just to keep things. And those kids were so jacked up, so much adrenaline flowing. And those kids rushed the floor. They didn't feel a thing.
Yes, sir.
They just kept coming.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to a good season. This Friday, Oak Grove, 7 p.m.
That's what you want. All that adrenaline moving, those kids are ready. And come Friday night, got a near perfect football, but enough to make sure you get that victory in the first game.
That's right.
And like you say, you want to come out quick and aggressive, and if you can, score in bunches, and also control that clock.
Yes, sir. That's going to be the key point for us winning.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Andy, for having me.